Hi students, good morning. Welcome to biology video class. In previous video we have talked about the position of calyx, corolla, andrusium and gynoecium and the thalamus. On the thalamus, how it is situated. So based on that, it has been divided as a three types. One is hypogynous, perigynous, epigynous. So three types which consist. The next one, in the parts of flowers, we have seen about the calyx and corolla. Calyx is collection of sepals. I think it is green leafy like structure, and which protect the bud. That all the things we know. If it is united, it is called it as gamosepalous. If it is freely present, that means polycephalous. Then after that we have seen about the corolla. The corolla is composed of petals. It is very attractive in nature because it want to attract the insects, then only the pollination is happen. Then the sepals, if it is united, it is called it as gamopetalous, and the next one polypetalous. Gamopetalous and polypetalous. Gamopetalous are united, that means which are connected, but in the polypetalous it is not connected, separately it is present. The petals are separately present. Okay, then we have started the aestivation. I think how that arrangements of sepals or carpels, sepals or petals, sepals or petals, how it is arranged. So it is known as what? Aestivation. So today we will start with the aestivation, then their types, then about the Andrusium and Gynoecium we are going to see today. So listen here. So first we will start with what? Aestivation. Aestivation, which means what? The mode of arrangement, of sepals or petals in floral bud in same hole. So hole, that mean already I told you that it is what? It is layer. In the flower there we have different layers. First layer what I told, it is sepal. Second layer, that means inside, towards inside. The second layer is petals, then andrusium, then gynoecium are present. So that is four hole, I think. First one is calyx, second one is corolla. So in the aestivation, the mode of arrangement of sepals and petals in the floral bud in same hole, it has been divided into four types, I think. That is valvate, and next one twisted, and next one imbrigate, the next one vexillary. So four types we have. One is valvate, twisted, imbrigate, vexillary. Okay, one by one we will see. what it is. First one, we will start with valvate. Valvate, how their structure, which means first one, just you draw a circle okay. First one, here we will see arrangement of petals or sepals in same hole. Okay, how it is arranged? That means the sepals or petals in a hole just touch at margin in but without overlapping. Example is calotropis. So inside, okay. Here you see in the valvate types, sepals or petals in a hole. This is one hole. Sepals or petals, whatever it may be, it just touch at margin. In the margin, it is touch. Just it is touch. Okay, this is call it as margin. In that, just it is touch inside, but without overlapping. Overlapping means so like that. It is not overlap which other petals or sepals. Separately it is present. So it is called it as valvate. It is not overlapping one another. Okay. Example is calotropis. Next one. So first one is what? It is not overlapping, but the margin is touch inside, not outside. There we have some gap. Okay, it is not overlapping also. The next one, twisted. Next one is what? Twisted. It is second type. In the second type, there we have overlapping. You see. Okay, one another. First one, second one, and third one, fourth one. Wait. Yes, here you see it is overlapping with one and another. Okay, one and another, it is overlapping. This is called twisted. This is called twisted aestivation. Before that we have seen what? Before that it is called as valvate. So it is overlapping. So here one margin of the appendages, overlap that the next one, example, China rose, lady's finger, these are all the example for the twisted. Even cotton also example. So here you see one margin of the appendages. This is one appendage, this is one appendage, this is one appendage. So one margin of the appendages, that is overlap, that the next one. So next one it is overlapped, but here it is not overlapped. So this is the arrangement of sepals or petals in the same hole. This is one layer. So in the one layer, whether it is sepals or petals, how it is arranged. The third one is what? Imbricate. Third one is what? Imbricate. Imbricate is, so this is one appendages, this is one appendages. Here you see this is like overlapping, but it is not in correct direction. It is not in correct direction. This is, you see, in correct direction it is coming, one on the other, one on the other, one on the other, one on the other, but it is not like that. But it is not like that. Here you see, here one appendage is present, on that it is present like overlapping, but here it is not overlapped, it is outside of the two appendages. In the two appendages which is present outside, but here it is overlapped, so it is not in correct direction. So it is called it as imbricate. First one is inside it is attached, but outside it is not attached, but here it is not overlapping. Here overlapping in the correct sequence, but here it is not in correct direction. Margin of sepals or petals, margin of sepals or petals, margin of sepals or petals, overlap one another, but here not in any particular direction, not in any particular direction. Okay, so this is imbricate. So it is not in correct sequence. Okay, then after that, next fourth one is what? Vexillary. This is one appendage is present, large one. It is called it as standard. This appendage. The next one, another two appendages are present. It is called it as wings. Then another two appendages which is present in the anterior. This is posterior, this is anterior. Okay, so standard, wings, then last one is keel. This is called it as keel. Okay, so in the vexillary, here large one overlap the two lateral petals. Large one, it is standard one, it is overlap the two lateral petals. Then next one, which turn overlap to smallest anterior petals. This is smallest anterior petal. This is also smallest, but this is big one. So what happened here? The large develops, the large petals, that is what? Standard. Large petal overlap the lateral petals, then the lateral petals overlap smallest petals in the anterior side. This is called it as vexillary. Here example is vexillary is example. Here cassia is example. Which one? For the imbrigate, cassia is the example, and for the vexillary example is pea bean. These are all the example for vexillary aestivation. So 4 aestivation we have. One is valvate, twisted, imbrigate, vexillary. This is what? The margin inside it is touch, but outside it is not touch, and it is not overlapping also. Example calotropis. Here it is overlapping. Here you see it is overlapped, but it is not in any particular direction. So then and there, what? Here and there it is overlapped. Correct sequence la idu enna agala appadina overlap agala. Vexillary pathina one standard petals we have, and lateral petals and small petals. That petals, so large one is overlap the 2 lateral petals, then the 2 lateral petals which overlap the smallest petals in the anterior. So example P bean, there it is cassia. So these are all the things about the aestivation. Next we are going to see about Andrusium. Next one, Andrusium. Andrusium is the male reproductive part. Male reproductive part, and it is composed of stamen. Composed of stamen. Here you see so this like the stamen is present. This is called it as filament. This is called it as anther. So the anther which consists it is bilobed actually. Bilobed means two bag-like structure are present. That means sac. Each bilobed structure has two chamber. That is pollen sac. From the pollen sac, pollen grains are produced. Okay, so anther is bilobed. That means two bag-like structure are present. Each one has two chambers. That is called it as pollen sac. The pollen sac which produce the pollen grains. Okay, here the filament is known as stalk. Stalk or filament, we can say that. On the filament, anther is present. Sometimes here sterile stamen also present. That name is staminode. So because the anther is male reproductive part, anther and filament, totally it is called it as stamen. Both the thing is called it as what? Stamen. In that, male gametes are present. That is pollen grain. So pollen grain where it is present, each bilobe which consists two chamber, that is called it as pollen sac. From the pollen sac, pollen grains are produced. Sometimes the pollen grains are not produced. That stamen is called it as staminode. Okay. Then here you see in stamen we have free one and unit one. So in the what we have seen here before, free one, unit one we have in the sepals and the petals. Okay, so like that here also we have united one and free one. United mean which are joined together, freely mean it will not join. So the united, the free one is polyandrous. If it is united, there we have one bunch or one bundle. That mean it is called it as mono adulpus. Okay, so free one which are not united, which are not joined, which mean it is polyandrous. Okay, if it is united, ஒன்னோட ஒன்று ஜாயின் பண்ணி இருந்தது ஸ்டாமன், நிறைய ஸ்டாமன் இருக்கும் ஒரு ஃப்ளாரில், ஃப்ரீயாக ஒன்னோட ஒன்று ஒட்டாமல் இருந்துருச்சு அப்படின்னா அதுக்கு பேர் என்ன அப்படின்னா பாலிஆண்ட்ரஸ். ஒன்னோட ஒன்று ஒட்டிகிட்டு இருக்கு அப்படின்னா அது வந்து ஒரு பண்டிலாக இருக்கலாம், இல்லை 2 பண்டில்ஸாக இருக்கலாம், or more than 2 bundles, that we have separate name. If it is one bundle, that means it is monoadelphous, ADELPOUS, adelphous, monoadelphous. If it is 2 bundle, if it is 2 bundle, it is what? Diadelphous, diadelphous. If it is more than 2, it is polyadelphous, polyadelphous. Okay, one is what? Monoadelphous and diadelphous and polyadelphous. Monoadelphous in P, this is citrus, and next one mustard, polyadelphous. So this is about Andrusium. So it is like இதுவும் எது மாதிரி அப்படின்னா பெட்டல்ஸ் செப்பல்ஸ்லாம் நம்ம பார்த்தோம், அது ஃப்ரீயாக இருக்கும் இல்லைனா யுனைட்டடாக இருக்கும். ஸோ த சேம் திங் ஹியர் ஆல்சோ இஸ் present. Stamen which are separately is present or otherwise united. If it is united, one bundle or one bunch, we are saying that it is monoadelphous. If it is 2 bundles are present, it is diadelphous. More than 2, it is called as polyadelphous. This is about the Andrusium. It is male reproductive part. From the male reproductive part only the pollen grains are produced. The pollen grains are transferred into the female part, that is Dinoseum. If it is female part is receive the pollen grains, what it is happened? Pollen tube is formed, then fertilization is happened, then the ovary become fruit, ovule become seed. Next we will talk about the Dinoseum, the female reproductive part. So next one is Dinoseum. Here one or more carpels are present. Carpels, which means the Dinoseum. Okay, here this like it is present. So carpels, this is carpel. One or more carpels are present in one flower. Okay, here the carpels, this is one carpel, which consists 3 parts. One is stigma and style and ovary. Inside the ovary we have ovules. Inside the ovary what we have? Ovules. So this is one carpel. So this like carpel which are present what? One or more. The stigma is which receive the pollen grains. It is receptive part actually. It is receptive part, that means which receive the pollen grain. So the male reproductive part which produce what? Pollen grain from the pollen sac that has been transferred by the air or by the insects, whatever it may be. It is coming and received by the stigma. Style, it is like a filament, it is elongate tube. It is what? Elongate tube. Okay, it is like a filament. So in the male reproductive part we have filament, no, like that here we have, but it is stale. Then next one, ovary, it is enlarged part which consists what? Ovules. Okay, enlarged part which consists what? Ovules, and it is the basal part also. So in the carpels, which one is the basal part? That means it is ovary. Then here the ovary, one or more ovules are present in the ovary. One or more ovules are present. இதில் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இந்த ஓவரியில் ஒரு ஓவியூல்ஸ் இல்லைன்னா அதற்கும் மேலே இருக்கும். தென் ஆஃப்டர் தட் and it is attached to the placenta. ஸோ ஓவியூல் எங்கே அட்டாச் ஆகிருக்கும் அப்படின்னா இந்த சென்டரில் நம்ம ஒரு லைன் போட்டிருக்கோம் இல்லையா, அந்த மாதிரி இதில் இது என்ன ஆகிருக்கும் அப்படின்னா அட்டாச் ஆகிருக்கும். ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் கால்ட் இட் as placenta. ஸோ தே வில் ஆஸ்க் கொஷின், where does the ovule will attached in the ovary? That means the ovule attached in the placenta. Okay, the next, more than one carpel, they may free or united. If it is free, it is called it as apocarpus. Example is lotus and rose. Then if it is united, that means the carpels are fused. That means syncarpus. It is called it as what? Syncarpus. Example, mustard, then tomato. Okay, so one is ovary. In that ovary, one or more ovules are present and it is attached to the placenta. And here I said what? One or more carpels are present. If it is one, that means it is free, it is not attached. So it is called it as apocarpus. If more than one, it is united, it is called it as syncarpus. Example, mustard, tomato. Here the apocarpus is lotus and rose. Okay va? Then after fertilization, that means after receiving the pollen grain on the stigma, here inside of the style pollen tubes are formed. Then it is reached to ovule. The fertilization, the male gamete and female gamete fusing is happen. Then next one is what? The ovary became fruit and ovule became seed. Ovary became fruit and ovule became seed. This like only we are getting what? Fruit. So without fertilization, without pollination, the fruit cannot come. So pollination, that means what? from the anther to stigma pollen grain transfer, that is called it as pollination. Fertilization, that mean what? The male gamete and female gametes are fused together, it is called it as fertilization. After that it is converted into fruit and ovule. Next one, based on the ovule, already we told that the ovule which is attached with the placenta. So how that ovules present, based on the ovules attachment it has been divided. So that is we will see. So that placement of ovule, that mean attachment of ovules in the placenta is called it as placenta. Our next topic is what? Placentation or placentation. Okay, in the placenta how it is attached. So the ovule arrangements in the ovary is called it as placentation. Okay, so there we have 4 types. It is based on the ovules attached to the placenta. One is marginal, second one axial, third one parietal, fourth one free central, then basal. So 5 types are present. So based on the arrangements of ovules, there we have 5 types. First one, marginal. So this is pea seeds. You know, I think the pea seeds which are enclosed with the pod. Okay, this is what? Pod. So inside how it is present. So this is placenta. In the center axis is placenta. So the placenta forms ridge. So the placenta form the ridge. Here some ridge are formed. Then ovules bonds on the ridge. After the ridge, the ovules are born. Then the ovules become the seed. That is the pea that we are eating. Okay. So first one, placenta which form the ridge. On the ridge the ovules are coming. It is what? Marginal placentation. Okay. In the margin it is present. The next one, axial. You see that the placenta is the axial and ovules are attached in the multilocalary ovary. This is multilocalary ovary. So 1, 2, 3 we have. So more than 1 we have. So that's why it is multilocalary ovary. So in that ovary, here in the central axis, the ovules are present. So the placenta, axial and ovules are attached in the multicalary ovary. So in the central axis the ovules are arranged. So 3 ovary are present here. So that's why it is multicalary. Example, China rose, tomato, lemon. The next one, parietal. In the parietal, the ovules develops on the inner wall. So this is the inner wall of the ovary. Okay, this is outer wall of the ovary. Here also it is outer wall of the ovary. This is inside. Here outside, inside. This is outside, inside. This is inner wall. In the inner wall ovules are developed. Okay. So it is peripheral part. Peripheral part mean in the lateral side. That mean outside it is present. So what happened in the inner wall? It is present. This is the center. This is the outside. So in the outside only it is present. Actually it is one chamber, but there we have false septum. So it is divided into 2. So false septums we have. False septum that we could not see that. That's why it is called it as false septum. That septum which is divide the one chamber into 2. Example is mustard and argemone. Okay, mustard and argemone. So here in the peripheral part the ovules are attached. Okay, then free central. You see here in the central axis, in the center it is present. So ovules born on central axis. Here septa absent. Here one chamber is present, but here it is two chamber is present. There we have three chambered. Example, dianthus and primose. Primose and dianthus. This like ovary which is present in the dianthus, and basal we have. Placenta develop at the base of the ovary, and single ovule is present. Single ovule is present. Okay. Then example is sunflower and marigold. Only single ovule is present. The placenta develop at the base of the ovary. In the base of the ovary it is developed. Okay, from that ovules, on that ovules are arranged. So what happened here? In the 4 or 5 times the placenta is present. In the placenta only it is attached. Here also you see, this is inner wall of the ovary, this is the placenta. In the placenta only it is attached. Here it is inside, centrally it is present. Okay, but here it is base, in the base it is attached. Here in the multilocalary it is present. Here in the ridge it is present. So based on the arrangement of ovary, actually based on the arrangement of ovule in the ovary is known as placentation. Okay. So in this video we have talked about the aestivation, different kinds of aestivation. Then next one, Andrusium, Dinoseum and placentation. Okay. Thank you very much.